Hi BookTube, I'm here today with a series review, and that series is the Dead Kid Detective Agency by Evan Munday. This is a wonderful series. It's a, I guess, middle grade / YA Canadian series. There's 3 books in the series so far. We have the first one, which is just called the Dead Kid Detective Agency. The next one is Dial M for Morna, and the last one is Loyalist to a Fault. So yes, 3 books so far. Wonderful series. Let me tell you about it. The main character is October Schwartz. She's a 13-year-old goth. And while she's working on her totally awesome One Knife, 1,000 Demons novel, which she's writing in a graveyard, she accidentally writes an incantation that raises ghosts from their graves. She ends up raising 5 teenage ghosts who all died under mysterious circumstances, hence why they're ghosts, and hence why it's called the Dead Kid Detective Agency. So the 5 people she raises are a boy from the time of the American Revolution, a Scottish immigrant, an escaped slave from southern states, one of the famous La Flamme quintuplets, and a young member of the Mohawk warrior cause during the Oka crisis. So we have a wide range of time there, and you know, this has a lot to do with Canadian history. So with her 5 ghost friends, who are all kind of around the same age as her, they set out to try and solve the mysteries of their death, as well as other mysteries that kind of crop up as well in their tiny town of Sticksville, which is an awesome name. Okay, in regards to the characters, October is wonderful. She's truly a unique person. I find that a lot of my problem with YA is that a lot of the authors try to do this kind of special snowflake kind of character where, you know, they kind of maybe like one obscure thing and they wear Converse and they wear dark makeup, but everything else about them is the same as everyone else. That really drives me crazy. That's not the case with October Schwartz. She's at this point, she's a 13-year-old girl. She's not interested in romantic relationships. It was even hinted at in Loyalist to a Fault that she doesn't even know if she's straight or gay or whatever at this point. So I think that's really kind of interesting. And so there's no love triangles. It's awesome to read such a well-written character who's not like, love, 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 I'm gonna drop everything for love. No, she's just like very concentrated on school and solving mysteries and dealing with her life. So she's quite smart. She's dealing with her dad's depression after her mom's disappearance. And I find it's very kind of realistically displayed, that depression and her having to deal with it. So I really enjoy October Schwartz as a character. The narrator is also, I find, a character because he really interjects a lot. The actual book alternates chapters between first-person perspective of October and the omniscient narrator who you know, is often breaking the fourth wall and all that kind of stuff. So I count him as a character. He's really quite hilarious, very, very informative, and he's really a geek. Not in the geek is the new sexy type of geek, but like a true, at the core geek. Not that that's not sexy, you know, but like, you know, he's a real geek. He really, there's a lot of pop culture references and everything, and you can just tell that he really appreciates history and good writing, and getting a good story across at the same time. So yeah, the 5 ghosts, they get fleshed out because they each get their own kind of book where their mystery's being solved. So you learn a lot about them, but the other characters aren't just kind of left behind. They are they do have their own kind of traits and everything. The only nitpicky thing about characters is that her two school friends, her two live friends, are kind of flat at this time, but she doesn't spend a lot of time with them anyways. She really spends more time with dead kids, and they're more interesting anyways. In regards to the plot, I think the action is well paced, the story keeps moving along, it keeps you interested. There's an overarching story throughout it, the story of October, and the whatever's going on in Styxville, as well as kind of like the main plot, where it's like you're solving the mystery of the death of the one of the dead kids. I also really like that you learn a lot while reading this book. I'm going to show you back here. There's appendices, sorry, that's how you say them, of important cultural history. So this is everything from the band a-ha, Encyclopedia Brown, Glengarry Glen Ross, Linda Blair, let's see, REO Speedwagon, The Sound of Music, Thunderdome, Usher, The Wicker Man, like it's like everything. If you don't get a reference, he does explain it a bit to you. So let's just read one reference here. Scooby-Doo. Long-running cartoon series from Hanna-Barbera that follows the adventures of 4 unlikely friends / meddling teenagers and their inexplicably talking dog Scooby-Doo as they solve supernatural mysteries. Haunted houses are investigated, teenagers are chased, large sandwiches are eaten, Velma's glasses are lost, and the ghost or monster is invariably revealed as a crotchety old carnival owner or somebody like that. So it's, even the references are kind of funny. And you also learn actually a lot of skills and history in this as well. I'm going to pick up a new one to show you. Loyalist to a Fault has step-by-step instructions for how to dig up a grave in the middle of winter. And he advises you not to, but he you know, does tell you how to do that. Thal M. for Mona discusses the legalities of breaking and entering. It's, you know, it's really, you know, quite interesting. And as I said before, because the characters are from history, and because she's in school too, you learn a lot about history, and specifically Canadian history, obviously. There's pop culture references galore, not just from like this era as I showed you before, but from other areas. There's references to music and movies and celebrities, different events. The appendices really help if you don't get those yourself. I think that's really quite helpful. In regards to the writing style, it's very kind of self-referential, very humorous, very easy to read. I definitely haven't really come across a narrator like this, except I'd say in like The Princess Bride, where the narrator's often pitting their own ideas out there and breaking the fourth wall and addressing you and, you know, giving you the bit of back information and stuff like that. And little tidbits that seem kind of off the wall but really add to the fun of the story. I said before that there's 2 different narrators. They switch from third person to the first person, so that I think that's really well done because it allows you to see the plot overall, but also to get to know October and get inside her head instead of just the author kind of, she thought this. You're actually with her during those chapters, so I think that's really kind of cool. Overall, let's get these books back in order here. I think even though these books are categorized as kind of middle school books, I definitely recommend them to anybody of any age. It's smart, funny, well written, with really kind of engaging characters, and you learn a lot. I can't emphasize how much fun it is and how much you learned from these books. And what more could you ask for? So yeah, I'd really like to see more people reading these books, for sure.